Hello everyone. This video is part of a series where we are exploring Typescript's features with the help of a React application. Our main goal is to learn how to better type our code in order to improve confidence and velocity in development. In the previous video, we have covered 4 basic types in TypeScript: the Boolean, the number, the string, and the array. And in this video, I want to briefly discuss enums with you. I will always clear my code here in our online playground, and I will also clear my console so that we have a clean starting point. So what are enums? In TypeScript, enums are nothing more than a more friendly way of giving names to a set of numerical values. In practice, we would define an enum by following the following structure, right? So by writing our enum keyword, then the enum name, and then the list of possible values. It is also possible to assign a bunch of specific values to each of the possible values of an enum, but this is normally not used. If we already use the enums here, then these specific electronics, they are going to be converted into a string as well. We can access these values, but if you feel like you have to, this is also possible. Let's stick with this first construct here and let's start coding. So first, I will define my enum product category. And this is going to have the following values: electronics, computers, what was the other one? Clothes, and kitchen, like so. Now, if I want to create a product 1 category, for example, I can type this as product category. And I can say that product 1 category is going to be equal to product category.electronics, for example. Now suppose that I want to have a nice function that prints out the different prints out different messages based on the product category. I can create a function, for example, which is going to be print nice message, and it's going to return, or it's going to receive, a category of type product category. Now, we haven't discussed typing functions yet, but as you can see, typing the arguments of a function is very similar to typing a certain variable. We have the variable name, and here we have the argument name. We then have a colon and the variable type, and here we have again the colon and the argument type. So now we can switch the values of category, and we can say, okay, if it is a product category.electronics, I want to console.log you have purchased an electronic. And then I want to break out of the switch case or the switch statement. If it is product category.computers, I want to console.log you have purchased a powerful computer, like so. And I want to break out of the statement block or the switch block. For the other cases and for any other value that is not listed in our product category enum, I want to console.log you purchased something, right? So let's say that only for electronics and computers, I want to print a nicer message. If it's something else, I want to print you purchased something. So let's see how I can call this function. I can call print nice message with product 1 category. And this is going to print you have purchased an electronic. I can also call print nice message with a number of 0, for example. And this is acceptable in TypeScript's so the syntax, because the internal representation of an enum, if I hover over electronics, for example, it is assigning the value 0 to product category.electronics. For the computers, it's assigning the value 1. So let's try something different and let's call it with 1 here. Now we should see you have purchased an electronic, which comes from line 24. And we also see the statement you have, or the sentence you have purchased a powerful computer, coming from line 25. This is, to be honest, The most common case that I see around in production for using enums. Enums are a good representation for a set of numerical values, but they also have some issues. For example, if I were to print a nice message with the number 5, Typescript is not going to complain, even though we don't have 6 definitions here, right? So we start at 0, so number 5 would have to be the 6th item on this list. Typescript doesn't complain, and here we are going to fall under the default statement. So this, as you can see, will print you purchased something, but it's not really correct because my initial enum doesn't really have the number 5. So I would be a little bit careful when using enums because they are not exhaustive. So they are not an exhaustive list of all the types or of all the categories that a product category can have, for example. I can pass another number that is not included in the product category list, and Typescript will not complain, even though we may run into an error if we try to use this number. I could also pass -5, for example, and Typescript will not complain. And why doesn't it complain? Well, basically it's because I can also assign a number to the electronics. Let's say I do something like so. Now Typescript will start numbering at -5. I have -5 for the electronics, I have -4 for the computers, I have -3 for clothes, and -2 for kitchen. So it's very hard for Typescript to know in advance whether a certain number is actually mapped to a value within an enum. Now if I run this code, I should see the following order. I will print you have purchased an electronic, then I'll print you have purchased something because 1 is not defined, and then I will print you have purchased an electronic again. I will run the code, and that's exactly what prints on the screen. So there is a better way to define a set of possible values for a certain variable or for a certain argument. We will come to this later on in the future when we talk about union types. When we talk about union types, we will say, okay, a certain variable, for example, I'll just give you a quick example here. Let's say here I can say electronic or computer, like so. And the type of this variable is going to allow only for the string electronic or only for the string computer. So I cannot assign anything else to this variable apart from these two different strings. Let's try to assign electronic or computer the value of electronic. This is fine, Typescript does not complain, but if I have a typo, Typescript will start to complain because it's saying that electronic is not assignable to any of these two options in my type definition. If I hover here, we'll say type blah 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 is not assignable to type electronic or computer. Right? So here I think this syntax is much clearer when it comes to defining which exact types we want to allow for a certain variable. We will explore this construct in the future. For now, I think it's good enough if we have a basic understanding of enums and of some use cases for enums. They may come in handy at some point during development, but they are something that Typescript mentions, so you may come across them in the future as well if you work on other projects. It's always good to have a basic understanding of this construct. Good, that's it for this video. And if you want to get a notification about the future videos that I upload in the channel, make sure to subscribe to it. I'm uploading videos every day, or at least trying to. So far I have managed. And there will be a lot of videos not only about Typescript and microservices, but also about other topics that I am interested in. So for example, design patterns for object-oriented programming, something related with data science. I'm pretty sure I'm going to start at some point with a couple of series on Python, on pandas, how to use NumPy, how to leverage NumPy's, vectorization capability. So all this more data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning related topics are also of my interest. If you want to get a notification anytime I upload a new video, then just subscribe and you will be informed every time there is something new. Also, as you may have noticed, I'm interested in a lot of topics, so if there is any topic that appeals to you individually, make sure to write down in the comments and I'll take that into consideration when planning the future of the channel. And regarding this initial theoretical videos with small examples, we will not have Git commits for them, but later on when we start working in our React application, we will have a more consistent way of committing our code. So I will also add the links to the Git commits of each video in their respective description. Thank you for your time and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.